and spice. Yeah. And make everything there feel nice. No, no. Yeah. A little sugar and spice. Yeah. And make everything there feel nice. Yeah. It's shawty bad to the bone.
Welcome to the Sugar and Spice podcast. Okay, the much awaited discussion topics over the weddings and, if I may say so, the god awful reunion. Like, didn't give us anything, but it's fine.
We'll get to it.
Yes. Okay. So this week we're just gonna dive right in. We're just gonna go straight to the weddings. No fluff in the beginning. Just we're gonna start with Sarah and Ben.
Yes.
Which, like, going into it, just from the way like she was looking at that last episode when they were in that igloo, like I was kind of like, ooh, she's having massive second thoughts. But like the stuff she was saying wasn't matching the vibe
Yes.
she was giving out. But like, I don't know. And then I was trying to figure out the bachelor party because he was like, I'm losing my voice. That bachelor party, was it the show bachelor party or was it like a personal bachelor party?
Well, I mean, we probably only saw a snippet
Yeah.
of, even if it was the show bachelor party, like I'm sure we just saw them do like the thing at the practice facility, but then I'm sure they did.
I'm sure they went out. They had to have gone out,
yes.
right? Like, I did like appreciate how her sister and like her sister's girlfriend were like, we have very valid concerns right now. Like, what do you want?
Well, I think they did a nice job of like trying to lead her down the make sure you're doing this for you. Like, 'cause when they were talking separately, like they were like, I think she might say yes out of like just not wanting to disappoint.
Yeah, like we're already here. Like I kind of
everybody has a dress, like
yes,
all that stuff. But I felt like her sister, unlike someone else's sister,
went about it a nice way.
Went about it a very nice way, even though when they had gone out for that drinks or whatever with them, like you kind of saw the sassy side of her sister and her partner. But
Yeah.
I think for the actual wedding, like they were very good, at least what we saw on camera.
Yes.
They were very good about like they didn't I
don't think they believed her. Like I don't think they were like buying what she was selling either. Like I feel like her sister was like, is this really what you want? Like I know you. Is this like you would be happy? There would be no doubt in your mind. Like you would be 100% go.
But I feel like they did that in a nice way.
They did it in a nice, respectful way where they weren't trying to like tear her down.
Right.
Like it was just
and make her feel a type
like
of way.
Stupid.
Yes.
You came all this way and then now you're just realizing this. Like
yes.
You didn't come across this like 2 weeks ago when you guys were having conversations. And then like it flips to the guys and I was like, where were these two groomsmen when we were meeting the friends?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like goes to my all Ben's friends are paid actors on
100%. Like these ones I kind of believe aren't paid actors. Like these are probably legitimately his friends. But I was also like, I would, if I was on the show and I was getting married, like you would be the friend that the guy would meet because you're gonna be in the what? Like it's just weird that I don't think anybody who was like dressed up nicely with him was one of the friends that was met.
Yeah. Was the one
maybe the
one
Latino guy?
Yes, that's who I was thinking.
Maybe because he was in the room, but I don't know if he like had a suit on. Like I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think he was just like they're like maybe we should just put him there. Let's not draw attention.
Ben's diverse paid actor friends.
Yes. And then like I think was it like did her dad have a conversation with her?
Her stepdad.
Her stepdad. Yeah. Like I was like that's a good like I think that was kind of her tipping point of like, oh, if my dad like if he's saying something to me.
I feel so like going down like the Instagram rabbit hole like after the fact, like supposedly talking to or like Ben was saying that I think they had kind of discussed how this was going to play out beforehand.
Mhm.
But he said he got a little bit blindsided at the altar when he was like, "But we're still gonna date afterwards," and she was like, maybe or
Well,
whatever.
like,
Like,
maybe there was a potential conversation of, like, "I don't think we're ready to get married, but,
but
like,
like
maybe we can date after."
after,
Okay. I could see that, like, maybe we're rushing it a little bit, like, maybe there's still some, like, things that we need to talk about, like, we're not q and I get it, like, you're not sometimes it becomes a real reality of, like, we're not quite there yet, like,
right?
we're
For whatever reason.
yeah, like, we're close to being, like, committed. We're obviously committed to each other, but, like, maybe we don't wanna necessarily put a ring on it just yet, like,
Well, and
anything could happen.
I think she, like, going to that church and then doing her research on, like, their views and
Mhm,
whatever, I think really gave her pause because
mhm.
her sister is obviously a huge part in her life and she has certain beliefs. And I
Yeah,
just don't
and I
think,
think his
like,
family is just, like, too godly and religious, like, "Let's all pray over him." I'm like,
yes.
"You're praying over the devil." But, like and, like, obviously, like, I grew up Catholic, like, I don't have any qualms about religion. I choose not to follow religion anymore. Like, I'm just a very spiritual person. But there's just some like, I don't know, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way a little bit when people are like, let's pray over you.
Well, and with like Ben too, because I'm like, man, like I just felt like the way he was with his mom and his grandma really like illustrated how he can put on a different face
Mhm.
depending on who you are,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
So,
For sure. Cause I was like, oh, this is a very interesting side of him. Like
yes.
seeing him because I feel like we didn't get to see him interact with his family all that much. It was just his
No, it
friends,
was just
right?
his friends that came.
Yeah, so, that's weird, and I don't know if it was just, like, the editing of this season, and they were just like, "We're gonna give you, like, the bare minimum of information because we don't want you guys to make good, like, guesses and stuff
As to
like that."
what's gonna happen,
And
yeah.
then, like, the editing itself when she was, like, up there, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so suspenseful, I can't handle it." I was like, "This is so stressful right now."
Yes, but I think it was his dad, like, it was one of their parents, like, they panned the camera to him, and he's just sitting there going,
I know,
like
like, we were Yeah, and then I was like, you could tell he was embarrassed. Like, you could tell that he went there and he told everybody, like, "I'm coming out with a wife," like, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah, and you could just tell he was like
I think well, and after like, when he was talking after the fact, I think it was more like she caught him off guard
yeah,
with her whole, like,
yeah, and
"Well,
he's
maybe
yeah,
we'll date after."
and he's just always so ambivalent too. He's just like, "Well, I don't know, like, I guess." Like, "I guess she didn't feel it or whatever," and it's
Well,
like, "You know what you did. Like, you know the reason, bro."
and yeah, and without, like, getting into the reunion stuff, I think
Yeah.
we'll get
Yeah, we'll get there.
we'll get there.
I have a little note too that's like, this is the downside of, like, Love is Blind because I think they always ask them in the interview, right, post-wedding, and it's like, "Do you truly believe love is blind?" And, like, I was like, "People can and they will lie." I think the beginning of the series, like, of the show, it was good intentions. I think people went on there with good intentions, and nowadays, like, everybody just wants to be an influencer.
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna go on because you wanna be an influencer, and it's like, that ruins the whole premise of the show because I think there are good aspects in it, but then it's like, "Oh, you do this," and it's like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I think, like, also they should be looking at, like, how what's this person's, like,
Mhm.
follower count on Instagram? Like, are they already, like, in the
Are they already established,
right
or are they looking to climb, like, the social ladder?
way? Like, if they've got a decent following, if they're putting out what looks like they wanna be a content
Yes,
creator, whatever, right? Then that should give, you would think, like, the people at Netflix a little bit of a
yeah,
pause that maybe this person isn't coming on
and
this show for the right reasons.
I don't know if you caught it when they did like, to span to Daniel and Taylor, when they were at the parents' house and they were asking how he said Netflix reached out to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was like because I know most people, like, apply, but he was like, "Netflix reached out to him," and I was like, "That's a little random and weird."
Well, how would they reach out to
That's what I
you?
was like, "What?"
I heard that about Joey. They were that
I can see so I don't know if maybe they have, like, Canvas people in the area because, like, what does Dan do again?
he in like a
Yeah,
sales
so, like,
something or
maybe,
other?
like, they look at, like, professionals in the area when they're looking, so it's like, "Okay, we're in Minneapolis, let's look at professionals," right? And then maybe they were just like, "Oh, he looks like a good all-American boy, let's put him on," like,
Well,
or he has a story to
they said
tell.
that about every guy on that they
That's
all
true.
look for this because they all look the same on
That's
that show.
true. Okay. Speaking of Monica and Joey,
Yeah,
let's
we
jump on
can.
over to that wedding because that was um like I kind of knew when his like guy asked him, he's like, "What level are you at?" And he was like, "Oh, a 5 or a 6." And I'm like, "A 5 or a 6?" I'm like, "I feel like you should be at like a 9 or a 10, bro." Like,
Well, and also when like he was talking about, he's like, "Oh, Monica's probably anxious," but he's like, "I think she's a nice human being."
I know there was not a lot of like affectionate talk.
No,
Like, it's weird because I feel like it was completely different from like how they were communicating in
the
the pods.
pods.
And even in Honduras, like, it was just different, like
I don't know. Like I feel like they started off so strong. I was like, I said like at the our
yeah,
first thing, like I was like, I think they are going to be the golden couple, and
yeah,
in like starting from I think Honduras, it started on a major decline.
yeah,
Well, then Taylor and
Dan,
Dan went the other way.
yeah, and, like, I don't like that he was, like, comparing it to high school. Like, did you catch that when he was, like, comparing, like was it her? Yeah, he was, like, comparing it about, like, oh, how she's very, like, high school based or whatever, like, with her emotions and stuff like that, and drama or something like that. And I was just like, "What do you mean? Like, she's
Like because
high
she
school."
has
I
emotions. Is
think
that
so. Maybe because we show emotion,
emotion?
like, I don't know. I was so disappointed, like and, like,
I was disappointed, but not
not
surprised
surprised.
after having like a few flags went up, like when they went out for that last dinner at that
Yes.
botanical gardens or whatever. Like huge flags were going up for me there because like he would, I don't know, like they were talking about love languages at the table, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
why are you still having
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
conversation, right?
Yeah. And then, like, obviously, when I was watching the girls get ready, I was like, "Why does her sister look like she's going to a funeral?" I was like, "What is with the 1950s, like, housewife hair happening?"
Oh, and like her sister said something to the effect of like they had her blessing but not her support.
Yes.
I'm like,
But in my head, I'm like, "Doesn't it come together?"
I
Like,
know, or I'm like, shouldn't you say you have my support, but like not my blessing? Like I don't
yeah.
like. I'm
Like,
like
"I'm here
that
to
was the. I
support
feel like
you."
that was the wrong way to phrase
Yeah.
that because
Like,
it's
"I'm
like
here to
you.
support you, but I
I
don't
don't
agree."
agree.
Yes.
Yes,
She should have said, "I'm here to support you, but I don't necessarily agree."
right. And I'm like, but the what she said, I'm like, jeez. So that's like contrasting with how Sarah and hers, obviously, Sarah and her partner had major concerns.
Yes, and they
So,
addressed it in a very, like, neutral way where they're not gonna attack her, and, like, it was pretty evident that, like, even on that first meeting, it's like, you can't just, like, attack your sister. She just spent, like, 6 weeks with this guy. She's in the rose-colored glasses phase, like, she's not gonna listen to you if you're gonna come at her, like, I understand, and, like, I will say, like, maybe we have to give the sister a little bit kudos as she saw what we didn't,
well,
but there's different ways to go about it.
we'll get to that when we talk reunion. But like at this point in the wedding, like we don't know what's going to happen,
No.
right? Nor do we
No.
know a lot of the information that we end up
No.
finding out at the reunion.
And,
So
like,
it's like,
I don't understand. Why the longboard?
oh, thank you. I wrote that down too because I'm just like, you are
Why
a
the
grown
long
man.
Yes.
You are a grown man
I
now.
literally feel like he's the jock that never grew up.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like, you
And
never grew up.
you're in your mid 30s. You're
Yeah.
in your mid 30s. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's another one of those things where it's like, I get it. It's like some people might think it's cute or whatever, but really that's your personality is a longboard? Like, you're an inland surfer boy?
I don't. Yeah, and like his whole
I know, I know. I did think it was, like, incredibly sweet that they had, like, the wheelchair for his sister.
yeah.
I was like, "Okay, like, that's very sweet, that's acceptable." And then I was just like, I'm so nervous watching this right now because it was just like,
Well,
what's gonna happen?
but even before we got there, like just listening to him, his mom, and his sisters, like his whole tone was just like, "Wah, wah, yeah, yeah."
And I almost got the feeling that like his sisters kind of knew like where his head was at because they were kind of like, I didn't find them very welcoming and like warm to the whole situation, like when they were sitting there.
Well, and I mean, we saw that more in the
Yeah,
reunion, but yeah, and can I just say, like, Monica's dress, like when they were in that bridal shop, I was like, that is amazing. They did her so dirty
they
on
did.
the back.
They did. Oh my god, like I don't know what happened. I don't know if they got her too small of a size.
That's it.
I think they ordered
I
this
was
wrong size
I think they did too, because I was like looking at it, I'm like,
because
why
it
wouldn't
fit
you
her perfectly at the
at
salon
yes.
because I think it had clamps.
Yes, well, that's the thing, but then I'm like, I think they ordered too small of a size because they were maybe trying not to alter it, but I'm like, order the size up and then
And then
pull and then
pull
bring
it
it in if you
Yeah,
have to, because
yeah.
yeah, her I was like,
And I'm sorry if you're trying to save money, Netflix, because you don't have time to alter dresses before, like, then maybe give them all dresses that are in their size, ready to go. Because you
well,
don't wanna, like, pay for the quick alteration, because if they're getting the dresses, like, the week before,
yeah,
right, then you're gonna have to pay it either to bring in a different size or fast track the alterations, which then that costs, like, extra money. So then pull dresses that are in these girl sizes right away. Like, it's not hard.
yeah. But yeah,
It
like
was just yeah, I was just I saw that too, and I was just like, I don't remember it looking like that.
right there, I was like, they're not getting married. There's
No,
no way. Because if I was getting married and I tried that on, I would be like, put it back, put it back, put it back. Like
we're not doing
we're
this.
not doing this.
Yep, give me a shrug, get me a
Yeah,
nope, I'm not doing this. I'm
yes,
out.
yeah.
Like, I thought her shoes were so cute though, and like they were like sparkly little
Oh,
heels.
yes.
Like, I'm like, oh man, she looked really pretty from the front.
Front,
Yeah.
yes.
Like,
But then from the back, they did her so
yeah,
dirty. I was like, man, Netflix, help this
yeah.
girl.
And I don't like in that little after interview where he was like shifting the blame to her and well she never said I love you to me. Like bro, at
Yes.
what point like did she I'm pretty sure she probably showed you that she loved you.
I could have sworn too
I could
when
have
they
swore
were
she
at
did.
the botanical
Yeah.
gardens. I swore she said something about like
Like I think she said like, I'm falling for you or something like
yeah,
that.
like she said something,
Mhm.
and I remember like watching it. And he didn't say anything back to her.
No, he was just kind of like, "Oh, great. That's really nice. Thank you so much."
But I so two things I noticed at the altar. Like she looked taller than him when she was wearing her heels.
Mhm. And then I was it I remember something where I was like, I don't think he's as tall as we think he is. Because when they were all at the dinner with all of the other cast members,
Yeah.
when he hugged Devin, they were the same height.
No.
I'm pretty sure they were the same height.
Devin's like 5'8". Devin would be the same height as Daniel.
Oh, I could have sworn. Like I could have sworn he was next to somebody and I was like, that's crazy. And I think that too, maybe with the fact that she was taller than him, he was just kind of like, oh God. I think he just went up there like 100% with like friend zone. He was like,
Oh,
this is not.
and I think, but thank goodness for her, I think she had picked up on that. Like,
I
I think if in her heart of hearts, I think she wanted to like continue this onward, but I think she was getting the vibe that he was like,
and I'm so happy that she's the one that said no.
yeah, same.
Like, girl, you
Yeah,
redeemed yourself. Like, and I understand, like, it's so hard because I think she genuinely did care for him. And I think she was starting to fall in love with him.
yeah,
But it's scary when you're not feeling that back from somebody and you don't want to fall and not have somebody catch you, right?
hmm,
So it's like you intentionally hold back because you're not seeing the same energy, right? And it's like for him to be like, "Well, I didn't see that in return." Well, maybe you weren't giving anything in return.
right.
Like you were giving us nothing.
Well, and then in like afterwards, like he was like, her sister was the inhibiting factor, blah blah blah, and I'm
Like
like,
really her sister, did you even make an effort
no,
to like sit down with her sister and reassure her sister? Like if that's the problem, wouldn't you say, "Hey, let's have a conversation. Like, I want to talk to you. Like, what are your problems with me? Like, what do you feel is the issue right now?
Or at the end of the day, is that really like that's
Or are
the
you just
hill you're
looking for an excuse?
yeah. Like, is that the hill you're gonna die on? Like, oh well, I don't get
Her
along with your
sister.
sister.
And family's super important to me. Like, it's not the relationship I have with my sisters.
Well, okay, but like, do your sisters have that same relationship
Yeah.
with Monica? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's how she is to you doesn't necessarily reflect the relationship
Yeah,
the two of
100%.
them have.
And, like, I don't necessarily think like, well, you know my personal situation, so I don't necessarily think the relationship somebody has with the sibling really matters about your personal relationship with your partner.
Mhm.
Like, if you guys truly love each other and wanna be together, then you're gonna look at your sibling and go, "I don't care what you think, you're going to be nice or you're not gonna be around at all."
Right.
Simple as that. Like, this is the person I love. This is the person I'm choosing to spend the rest of my life with. Either get on board or get out the station. Like,
Well, that's just it. Like, I'm sure like her sister could have been cordial
100%.
with Joey. Like, I'm sure they could have been
They could have
like
gotten to a level.
a level where it's just like, okay, like you don't have to love that person, but you have to at least get along with them enough that you can be in the
Yeah,
same room
yeah.
as
Go to
them.
family events and
Right.
whatever. Like, not all families are perfect. Like, everybody has an issue in their
Right.
family. Like, and if you're just saying, like, her mom's the sweetest woman in the world, like, thank God for her words of wisdom coming in there and being like, I just want you to be happy. Like,
Yes.
you don't have to rush into anything if you don't want to. Like, her mom is just such a strong woman, but like very soft. Like, how did you produce that other daughter? Because like that daughter's harsh and you're very, very soft. So I was
Yeah.
like, she must take after her dad then, because
Yes.
you're very nice and sweet, and I feel like you're very much Monica. So, um, Virginia and Devin. That was one that like I was kind of shocked. Like, I kinda had a feeling that she had questions that weren't answered, but I really, really was shocked when she was the one to be like, "No."
No. Yeah, and I think like there was a few things that we saw, like them
Mhm.
talking in bed and like her asking the questions and like her saying she's a Democrat, like
Yes.
they vote Democratic.
Yes.
So I think for her that was maybe sounding off some
And I think it maybe had her thinking and was like,
yes.
and then thinking back to other conversations they're having, right?
And I think the whole prenup thing, like I'm like
I feel like that was a bigger issue than it was portrayed. Like, I feel like they resolved it kind of fast, but I feel like it was like a lingering issue, and especially I think with his family too. Like, I guess, is that his sister-in-law that was in the room with the mom? That's the sister-in-law.
that's it. No, that's
It's his
it's
sister?
his sister.
Sister, okay.
Can't you tell by the hair?
Yeah. I couldn't remember because like when they were all at the house, because that's the brother-in-law.
Yeah,
Okay.
brother-in-law, brother-in-law.
Like, I was just like, I don't think his sister ever liked her. Like, I was just
No,
getting
because
that vibe.
his sister was probably like insanely jealous of Virginia. Like,
She looked so gorgeous though. Like,
oh,
I'm like, girl, you were too hot for him.
at at the wedding and at the reunion, she looked
Yeah.
amazing. And yes, like when I think they interviewed Devin at the beginning, and he's like, "I feel like I hit the jackpot." I'm like, "Yeah, of
Yeah, you
course
did,
you
because you
do."
couldn't even get your hair done again. Like, I was like, could you not have gone to a barber shop?
Yes,
Could any of your men not have gone to a barber shop?
barbershop.
It's like, you're getting married and you're just
If I was Virginia, I'd be like, you know what I did for you? I made you an
yes,
appointment at a barber
you and the
shop.
boys are going to get your hair done.
Yes,
Like,
properly by a real barber.
yes, you're gonna get like twists or something because like
What
I was
is
like,
this?
yeah.
What is this?
um and then like I did love how her aunt was, or and godmother was like the officiant. I was like, that's so sweet. Like,
And so it was that right there. I'm like, oh, like, is she going to say yes? Because I'm like, why would you haul your aunt in here to
yeah.
be the officiant if you're just going to stand there and be like, mm-mm. Like,
Well, and then like, what was that like D lapel thing he was wearing with like the feathers coming out of it? Did you like? I was like,
I don't.
I
I think he was trying to match like what she was holding, whatever
maybe.
she was holding.
Yeah, I was like, I
That
don't know what these peacock
I
things.
don't, I don't know what they were my favorite. Like she had she was gorgeous dress. She looked beautiful, but the other stuff was not.
Yeah. And I was like, do you think her neck's gonna get sore from like being like this the whole time? Like she was like, oh, hello. And I don't know if it's because she was trying to keep the curl out of her face.
Yeah,
The one
maybe,
curl.
maybe.
Because I just felt like she was up there and she was like, hi.
But that's the way she was with him the whole
Her head.
season.
I'm meek. I'm just
you.
little. Yeah. And then I was like, I can't believe they brought the kid and had the kid part of the wedding. And that little girl, she's like, what happened?
Heart a little bit. I
I was like, this girl's gonna be scarred from weddings for the rest of her life.
I know, she's gonna be sitting there waiting, like, did they say yes or no? Did they say yes?
Yeah.
Most weddings they say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Because Netflix isn't footing the bill.
Mm-mm.
But you could tell definitely like him and his whole family thought this was happening.
Oh my god. And then just like the immediate, like, did you catch what his sister said? Why do all the girls do this to him?
I just don't understand these girls.
Yes.
Is what she said. And it was like,
I'm like, wait. Has this
Ma'am.
happened before?
ma'am,
I'm like, what has happened before that has made you say this? Like, have we
Yes.
almost gotten to this point? And then the girl realized that like he lies about everything, like,
Yes.
or he's covering up his true, like, I'm sorry, like, go find a nice Republican girl. Like, if this, like, clearly this is an issue.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm pretty sure Minnesota is a Democratic state. Like, go Tim Walz, but like, go like maybe reevaluate who you're looking for then, because it can't be all the girls.
Well, but that's a thing though, right? Where like guys who are right leaning
Yes.
will hide it,
Yes.
like, and then it comes out after the fact when it's too late,
Yeah.
right? Like, so like God bless Virginia for
You could tell too it was like so like nerve-wracking and painful for her too. Like I felt so bad. I felt bad for at the time. I felt so bad for both of them. I felt bad for him because he looked like he was genuinely like distraught and like
Yeah.
shocked and crying and whatever. Um and like I still feel like she was just like so genuine and being like, I still really care for you, but there are some things that we just will never agree on, and I
Mhm.
can't be with somebody like that.
Right.
Like, and then I'm like, so, and I feel like the other thing is like financial. I think she will always be better financially off than him. And then the whole like, you didn't tell her that you got a check. Like the mom saying, like, oh yeah, like I got a check, like whatever. Like, regardless of whether you were going to bring it up after, you should have already said, like, hey, babe, my mom's boss gave us money, so I'm gonna wait until after the wedding to cash it.
Yeah. That's all you have to say.
I'm sorry, he was gonna take it and spend it on shoes.
Absolutely was. Absolutely was. Wouldn't you be like if you were legitimately not trying to hide it, hey, guess what?
Yeah, I would be so excited, be like, oh my god, like my mom's boss
Boss gave us a
$1,000.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. Because we know you didn't flip the bill for the wedding.
Right.
So anything you guys get is like whatever. But yeah, that was kind of like a big thing for me too. I was like, oh, I can't believe like he didn't say anything. And then like I feel like for them, she would be much more financially smart.
Oh, absolutely.
And I
That's why
feel like
that's
he's
why she
not.
wanted that that's why she wanted that
Yeah.
prenup in the first place.
Yeah.
And it was like any like issues that you had about bringing up a prenup or anything was just the answer was there when
Yeah.
he had tried to hide that check from you. Like
100%. Like he was definitely trying to squirrel that away.
Yeah.
And our golden couple, Dan and Taylor.
Last but not least.
I literally have written down, I was like, our last hope.
Last
When I was our last hope, Dan and Taylor.
Well, yeah, and I was getting a little nervous because I'm like, man, everybody's saying no. Are they gonna say no? Like, are we gonna have any
I
couples
know.
get married?
I know. I really thought I was like, oh my God, like, is nothing gonna happen?
But you know what I thought was a good sign? They had a wedding party. Nobody else
Yes.
did.
Yes.
Nobody else did.
Yes. And I feel like most of the times, most of the weddings, they have either like just a maid of honor and a groomsman, or they have multiple people and they usually sit in the front row. Like that's where you know their values align. Like Dan and Taylor, like they're very like I will say they're like Christian, but they're like evenly with each other to where
Yeah.
they have the same values of like, okay, like we're gonna have a wedding party, like you're gonna have these guys, I'm gonna have these guys, like my dad's gonna walk me down and all that stuff. Like who gives this bride away? Like, oh, me and her mom, like
Right.
does like the traditional, and I see them as a traditional couple.
Yes, for sure.
Like I was like, I knew he was gonna wear the tux and it was just gonna be beautiful. And then like his sister singing.
I was very nervous
I was
when I saw her heading over to that piano, and I'm like, okay, dokie.
I-
You know what? She blew me away. I thought she was
She-
excellent.
I
Like,
got chills. Like I just remember getting chills because that is one of my favorite songs for weddings. Like I love that song. And like I was just I was like writing, I was like, I hope he doesn't get cold feet. I hope he goes through with it.
I wasn't really I wasn't worried about him. I was more worried about her. Like, I didn't think he would say no.
No.
But I was like, oh, is there something like? But you know what? Like, I feel like her dad being sick might have played like a
Like
small
he might not see me get married, right? So
yes
like this might be my only chance.
to have my
That's
dad
true.
stay get married. So I felt like, but I still think they're very suited for each other. But
Yes.
I feel like that was something that was in the back of her
And,
mind.
like I don't understand these people. If it doesn't work out, just get a divorce. Like, or I
Well,
don't even think they actually submit the paperwork until
no,
after.
no, like so. What I learned from the Ashley and Tyler thing
Mm.
last year is that they have to stay if they get married on the show. They have to stay, it is legal, it's legitimate. They have to stay married for 1 year.
Okay. Okay. But I guess like technically in that situation, could they not have gotten an annulment because he lied?
Well, but then she found out he lied and then she was defending him.
That's true.
So if she immediately found out he lied,
Okay. So then just
then
stay married for a year, don't live with each other, and then just say like, okay, we're gonna meet here at this day, sign the papers, and then we're done.
right.
Like, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I guess like when you're dealing with people who are like, we're not getting divorced ever. Like divorce isn't even a question. Like, okay, we are in 2025. Like
Yeah. Well, and that's Taylor and Daniel's families, right? Like they are
but they
very
have I say like they both have very strong family cores. Like both parents are together, been together a long
yeah,
time, like have really good, solid foundations, raised their children correct. Like,
yeah.
I think, yeah, there was just like, I was like, it's perfect. They're awesome. And then I was just like, and then I was just like, I feel sad for Monica, but like, screw Ben and Joey. I was like, Joey's on my shit list.
Well, and he'll be even more on your shit
Yeah.
list when we get to the reunion part. No, but just to end off with Taylor and Daniel, like their Operation Consummation, I was like, oh my god.
I'm like, you've already consummated it.
But they said they hadn't. They said they were
No.
waiting for the wedding. That's
Oh.
why they were saying Operation Consummation.
Oh,
They were
I
like,
thought they had.
no.
I'm so good for them.
Well, good for them, but I'm like, oh, wouldn't you want to like
I feel like this is the season with the least amount of sex.
yes. I'm like, wouldn't you want to figure out if you're compatible that way also?
100%, 100%. And like to backtrack to like Virginia, I give it to her too, where she was like, we made it so far, but then we didn't have enough time to see if we were physically compatible. And I'm like, damn, I'm like, normally these couples like jump right in with each other on
Yeah.
the vacation
Yeah.
to see if they're like compatible. And that would be like my thing. It's like, what if we're not sexually compatible?
Right.
And then you're stuck with this person.
Right.
Like, I love you, but like,
I don't know. I don't know. I guess Taylor and Daniel are like, we get along
I
in
feel like
enough
they would have
other
fun.
ways. Like we'll figure it
Yeah.
out, I guess. But and then the last thing was like they had Coldplay playing over,
Oh my
and I'm
God.
like, so this they sacrificed the bachelorette party so we could have Coldplay playing
I
at the
know,
end of this
I
episode.
know.
I'm like,
I
I
know.
could have done without Chris Martin and
Yes.
had a better bachelorette for those poor ladies.
And I think we could have done without the whole music
Yes.
soundtrack, and
Yeah.
we just could have had like a much better bachelorette party.
Yes. I think the women this season really deserved it.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll see what they do next season, but it's probably going to be like a play place.
It's just I feel like this year was even worse than last year. Like I'm like the glamping thing was actually like it was kind of
It was
nice.
cute, and I think they were kind of like playing off of the Barbie movie kind of idea, and like ooh, like princess party, like whatever. It was cute.
Cute this year,
This
but
year it was like, go have fun at the mall. Here's some money. Here's some pocket change. Go have
to go,
fun.
yeah, to go on a couple rides, and here's an old person costume for
Yeah,
you.
I want to go to the Mall of America. That's where I want to go. Like, no, thank you. That'd be like us going to the Edmonton Mall.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm good. Like, I
Yeah,
don't need to ride those half
no,
roller coasters.
no, worse. That mall, like in Woodbine or
Oh
whatever.
my god.
That,
That honestly, they'd be like, you're not getting the Eaton Center.
yeah, you're not
You're
getting
getting this.
You're getting Woodbine
Yeah.
Mall.
Oh god. Okay. Now, the trash panda that is the reunion. The dumpster fire.
You know what though? I've watched enough seasons of Love is Blind. I don't even go in with any high hope,
Yeah.
or I go into every reunion with zero to negative expectations that Nick Lachey and Vanessa are going to ask any decent questions, or
Yeah.
like those two need to go. Like,
Like, and then I feel
if they want to have them like host the
Just
actual
host it.
show, the
Yes.
actual show part.
I need an Andy Cohen.
Right. And then bring in someone hard hitting for the
Yes.
reunion. Anybody.
Yes.
Anybody.
I
Go to
feel like-
Bravo. Pick off.
I will say this season, I feel like the cast themselves were better at hosting it than the actual host.
Yeah, like they tried, like other people tried to make.
Yeah. Because I feel
Things-
like they all know what it's like going into the reunion. But like, it's just, it's like, guys, like the reunion is to get the hard hitting answers. And I think they should not do the reunion until all of the episodes are out. Like they shouldn't
Absolutely.
film it until all the episodes.
Yes. And like particularly for Monica, I feel like what Joey said after hit their wedding
Yeah.
about like her sister and like basically like not like being in the friend zone, like I feel like that would have answered a lot of questions for her
Mhm.
before the reunion, so then they wouldn't have needed to spend necessarily time on that, but like
I feel like they and I don't know why the reunion's so long as it is. Like we don't need the filler stuff. We don't need to play the sock bin game. We don't need to see the top 5 moments. And
which let me just say again, from watching Love is Blind from the beginning, those top 5 moments would not have been my top 5 moments, not
but
one
like,
of them.
what are we clarifying as the top 5 moments? I want to see the top messiest moments.
Well, that's just it. Like Garrett's reveal, Garrett's like long hair, like
Yeah. I'm like the whole thing I got about that. I was like, yes, Taylor and Garrett. Like, yes, thank you. They actually worked out. But like no, like these. How are these the top 5 moments?
They're
Like, I
not.
want to see the messiest.
They're not.
moment.
Someone I saw something somewhere. They were like they had an intern who'd never watched the show put this
Yeah.
together. That's why season 6 was
Yeah.
so heavily.
I will
that was
say-
the only
I
season
would
that
say
person
the one
watched.
with the chick who said she was Megan Fox. Okay, like that deserved to be there
Okay,
because that was a little bit
top 5. Like
yeah.
I'm like
You
yes,
know more
it's-
about
Yes, it's a memorable moment, but is that top 5? And the other one where the girl's calling the guy out about like because he was with another
Yes.
girl. I'm like, yeah, fine, that's a moment. But I'm like, is it top 5? I don't think so. Like,
probably not.
no. Like if you've watched it from the beginning, there's other, I would say, more memorable moments than what was highlighted in that. So there's
Like
that.
I personally would have said from last year, it would have been when what's her face found those text messages. Like that, I would have considered like a top 5.
Or like just Hannah like just
Going at Nick.
all the time.
Yes.
Like Nick, I
Nick.
made you a man, Nick. Those over Garrett's like long
Yeah.
hair. Who
Yeah.
cares?
And then like I don't know why they showed that chick's engagement, like Addie and the other guy from the Love Is Blind UK. I'm like,
It's because like
I know she's like a crowd favorite and he's a crowd favorite from there, but I'm also like, great. Do we care?
no, not really. No, and do we need a musical act? No, I don't.
KK, that was actually Alex, right? Singing it? Is that Alex from this season? No.
No.
Oh, okay. That's
That's-
just like some random person.
Yes.
I honestly thought it was Alex from this season, and I was like,
So
I was like, no. In my head, I was like, because I thought it was the Alex from this season who was like singing in the pods, like doing all that. And I was like, are they actively promoting a predator right now?
well, it wouldn't surprise me because they didn't call him out about any of that stuff at all, and it's all
But see, I don't know
over.
if that had come out yet because they filmed their reunion when.
I watched My Favorite Detective Lady.
Yes.
And she was saying the initial accusations had come out, so some women had come forward.
Yeah.
So she was like, you know what? Like, Netflix could have gone and talked to these women and found out the tea themselves.
And to be fair, I feel like they should have, like, I feel like when they see this stuff come out, like, they should cut these guys from the show. Like, cut the episode, cut them, and
them.
just give me another couple then.
Right,
Like, just give me somebody else.
right.
Like,
The other couple that got engaged.
yeah, like nobody showed that.
Right. So, yeah, no, like, why are you giving airtime to someone who's essentially a predator?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Like, why is he even here?
right.
Why was he even invited
At the
to the
reunion. Yes, if there are any questions at all, that should just be like, nope, sorry.
100%.
Like,
And it's
there's
like,
some allegations here, nothing absolutely substantiated. But I
yes.
feel like once there's a few, like, it's not just one lone
Yeah.
person. Once you have a few people saying all the same thing, that should lend some credibility to those people that are
Yes.
all saying the same thing.
100%. Okay, and then like while we're on Alex, then we might as well talk about Meg, Mason, Alex, and Madison. I'm sorry, but like it was really weird for me to see the three of them next to each other, like Mason, Meg, and Alex.
Yeah.
Like, are you guys three best friends in the whole wide world?
I guess so.
Like,
But
and I will say, kudos to fucking Madison for bringing out those receipts.
were they receipts though?
I just loved it because like because we saw it in the pods where he was like trying to be like friendly to Mason.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I knew that they were gonna try to paint her as the crazy.
Yeah, and yes, like you can see that he's a bit from those, like you can see, yes, he's a bit two-faced, but I'm like, I don't feel like it was like damning like evidence
Yeah.
that
I was like, yes, thank you.
like I don't know that you needed to sneak that into your print it off and sneak it in
And
your
here's the thing,
armpit.
like, I wonder if there was because she said she had more, but like I wonder if there was like different ones that maybe like it's like, oh, like I can't talk about that. So maybe they were told beforehand, like you can't talk about that predator thing.
maybe.
Like they put a gag order on it.
Maybe because I'm like, really? This is what you printed off and came with? Like, I don't know. Like, I
I
don't know.
also still get the vibe that like Meg is desperately in love with him, Mason. And she's just like, I guess I'll be your friend.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I was like, yeah, maybe because they were like, "Oh, we mutually." I'm like,
This was not mutual.
yeah, no one mutually decided this. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see that like he just wants her as he's definitely friend zoned her,
100%.
and yes, and I think
I think she's still like, I think because like, let's be honest, he was the only one that she had a connection with there, right?
yeah,
So I think like she ended up, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm sure they're great friends, but I'm also like, are you just like championing him now, like on that couch beside him, being like, I'm gonna protect him because I'm his best friend? Like, and then I was just, what triggered me is when he said, like, I think it's great you think I'm smart enough to be manipulative.
mm-mm.
When somebody says that, I immediately know, and it's because of personal reasons, that like you're lying
Yeah,
because you are playing the game and you're just trying to pretend that you're not.
right.
And I was like, don't lie. Just let's just be honest. We're on the couch, like just be honest about it now.
I don't even know why they needed to have. I don't know, like if they were looking for
I think they were looking
filler.
for a messy filler, like let's get Madison all riled up and like
Well, I don't even know that she needed to be there really either. Like
no.
they didn't like
Other than the Joey thing, like him, like other than just having her as a secondary character for things,
I feel like Madison is messy
she's a
though.
little bit of a pot stirrer.
Yeah, so I'm like, did absolutely I believe that Joey sent her like a
Oh,
DM.
100%.
100% I believe that. Now, the other stuff that they were talking about, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like they're both liars. Like, I feel like Joey's a liar. I feel like Madison's a liar. Who's the bigger liar? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like Madison is definitely one of the ones who was on there, I don't think for the right reasons. Like, I've seen her all over TikTok, so
Yeah, she's like, she really striked me as like a Hannah. Like, I got out there. I'm like here. Because like, why would you show up to that party with pink hair
right.
and now you don't like?
I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't get like girls girl vibes from
No,
her at all.
no, Molly, 100%. Like,
Yes.
but I will say, I don't know why they insist on like. I don't know if she chose that dress, but like blue and like red hat. I don't know. It was too much for me.
I was like, are we the Little Mermaid? Like,
Literally,
what's going on
I
here?
was like, it was too much. It was too prom 2009 for me.
It didn't really fit her that well.
No,
Like, I'm like,
no.
this needs
I
to
would
be
have
altered
I would
slightly.
have loved to see her in green, like a nice emerald, like a nice emerald green. But it was literally like I was like, did we get this off the rack at Macy's?
Well, and I'm like, did they buy their own stuff or
I
did
don't
they get
know.
a stylist? Because I saw a thing that Virginia's dress was like $2,000.
But I can believe that she would buy that.
Yeah, because she was like, haha, look at me now.
Yeah.
Devin,
So let's
yes,
segue into that
yes.
bad boy. One, like my one thing is like I love how she stood on business.
Well,
And
even backing up before standing on business, like Virginia, I didn't know you spoke that way.
oh my god, I know she came off so strong and like
Well,
powerful.
this is the
Was
Virginia
she
that
dumbing herself down
oh,
for him?
absolutely, absolutely. Because I'm like, she has a PhD, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, you have to like defend your thesis and do all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, so this is the real Virginia. Why are you acting like the
So
way
like,
you were?
huh, huh,
Like,
soft girl era.
well,
Like you're a badass woman.
so
You spent a lot of money doing educational things. You work in education.
so act like it.
Yes.
Like I feel like you're by playing a certain character, let's say, you're attracting the wrong people.
Yes.
Clearly, you're attracting people like Devin
And I
who
wonder
like aren't going to be able to match like how
yes.
smart you are, how successful you
Yeah,
are,
he
how
needs
educated you
somebody
are.
who's like lower than him. Like
Oh, absolutely he
he
does.
will never be able to be with somebody who's above him
No.
in like I will say like a social standing. Like I think I just don't know if like she was gonna feel like a failure because she didn't come out of it with anybody in the pods, right? To where she was like, well, like this guy I get along with, like it could be something, like maybe, like we'll test it out. But I did also like appreciate how she was like when she was like, I grew up as a black woman who protects men and we protect our man. And so she's like, I'm still gonna sit here and protect Devin and say like I'm not going to tell you what his views are, but like these are mine.
Let me be very clear about what mine are. I was like, go Virginia.
I was like, she's being so profoundly articulate and strong right
Yes.
now, and like, and of course he's just ambiguous. Like he did not answer a question to a full extent. It was never yes or no. It was always, well, like maybe, well, we didn't. I don't really want to comment. Like,
I have no time for that man and his ridiculous drawn on hairline. Like, please be serious.
yeah, it's like he went there and he took like the root spray and
Yes, and just root sprayed around. It's like, no, we can tell that your hair starts way back here somewhere.
yeah, and like the note from the ex. Well, I don't see her as an ex. That's a best friend. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
She's dating one of my best friends now. She's like married to him. I don't trust that.
Well, and then they were like, "Did you meet her, Virginia?" And she's like, "Yeah, I met her, but she was not introduced to me that way."
No.
So I'm like, right there, red flag, red flag, red flag. Because if it was truly
I said,
just
why
like
wouldn't you mention it?
right, right. Because if it was truly like this is in the past is the past.
Yep.
Hey, we dated a
We
long
dated
time
in
ago
high school.
in high school. Now we're just friends. Like she's
Yeah.
dating my
Yeah.
friend, whatever. Like it's apparently Minneapolis. There's only 500 people in that whole place because
Yeah.
everybody knows everybody, knows everybody, everybody, everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
like, but the fact that he did not do that, I was like, red flag. Red
Yeah.
flag right there. Add it to the list.
Yeah.
Add it to the
Yeah.
list.
And he was just there to play the victim. And
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
he's like he said whole ghosting thing, and Molly was like, "Yeah, you told me she ghosted." She, I'm like, there she is.
I know. I was like, Molly being a girl scout,
Yeah.
they were like, you were really drunk. And he was like, I wasn't that drunk. And they were like, you were hammered. I
Yes.
was like, see?
There it is.
Once again, were you in the basement bar? Probably. Like, how small is this city where you guys are all running into each other consistently?
I watched reel by like someone who's from Minneapolis, and basically they were like, there's only like 6 bars like that.
That are like good to go. So kind of like St. Catherine's, let's be
Right.
honest.
So they're like, he's like, yeah, so you run into the same people over and over again.
Fair.
And he himself, like this guy doing this, was listing like his connections on the show of like, he knows like someone's sister. And then
Yeah.
he popped up like, I think Taylor's Instagram, and he's like, we have a ton of mutuals. Like, so
I always
everybody.
think Minneapolis should be bigger. Like, I feel like in my head, Minneapolis is like Philadelphia, is like New York City. Like, it's like a big city. But like, I guess it's not.
I don't think it is.
Like,
I think it's like, I don't know what the population is. Maybe we can put up the population.
Yeah, we'll find that.
We'll find that. But I don't think it's a big city. Like I feel like it's like a Mississauga.
Yeah,
or
it's like
maybe a Hamilton. I don't know.
Maybe a Burlington.
Maybe like
Like,
it just doesn't seem that big. And basically the guy was saying like there's a certain area where most people like live, and then there's like 6 bars. So he's like, yeah, the chances
yeah,
of
maybe
running.
like the maybe in like the just off of the downtown area, right? There's like a little strip of like restaurants and stuff like that. That's crazy. Crazy.
So, like, yeah, no surprise that all the cast is running into the same people
That's so
over
stressful.
and over again.
That's stressful. Like, and I'm so sorry, but like Virginia doesn't strike me as the person who would ghost you. Like
No, Virginia
she
was trying
like
to
she was
say,
trying to talk to
yeah,
him.
like she was trying to say, like, you know, I care about you. Like, I wanted to like make things right, kind of after like what happened at the wedding, and like he didn't want any of it because
Yeah.
he's a childish man.
100%. And then like of course his family's probably like, you will never talk to her ever again.
Yeah,
We won't talk to you if you do.
right.
It's like, okay, cool. And then like with Ben and Sarah, I was like, other than him being another ambiguous man, like I don't remember. Maybe I did say that. I don't remember.
But you could tell like she was getting like quite upset.
You could tell, like she was like splotchy.
She was physically like breaking. I remember saying at one point, I'm like, does she have hives on her? Like, yes, she was definitely getting
like it was something
stressed.
for a lot of them too.
Yes.
Because like Joey's face was super red. Well, Dave's face is kind of always red.
Yeah,
But like I noticed like a lot of them were like getting there. But it's I feel so bad for her that they lived together for a little bit after they had this plan to she was going back to was it Nashville?
Nashville. I mean, I feel like she tried, and
She did try.
I feel like she tried, and I think it was just like I think she made a comment like, you know, he's not curious. Like he doesn't want to like, you know,
Ask questions, figure stuff out.
no, like he doesn't. That was evident. I mean, maybe his like because I'm like Sarah.
I feel like he was like that in the pod.
Yes, Sarah. Like
Y'all carried the conversation.
Nothing's changed.
No.
Like he was like that all along. Like
I do understand where she said she was like hoping that he would change, and like you can't see somebody's potential. Like we've both been there. Like you can hope for it for so much, but like at the end of the day, like you can't just be with somebody hoping that they're going to be better in the future.
and I feel I think she found a lot of things attractive about him, like
Yeah,
physically and
absolutely.
otherwise. So I feel like she was like, okay, like it's really just this one thing. Like
Yeah,
if
maybe
you
he can
just
get there.
maybe he can get there. And I think like I don't think he's gonna get there because I don't think he cares to get there.
Yeah, and like I was like, you're gonna really call her up to practice reunion questions? That guy Jimmy called him.
Ugh, gross.
And was like, you should really get her to practice.
And I love how they were like, Ben, do you want to like say who that cast member was? He's like, no, Jimmy. It was Jimmy. Sarah, Jimmy. It was Jimmy.
Why are we trying to why are we trying to hide it?
I don't know. But and then when they were talking about like Ben's YouTube cards, can we put up that?
Yeah,
too?
we'll find that too.
Yes. I'm like, what's a YouTube card? Like, I'm like, what
It's like a business card for
Yes.
his YouTube channel.
Yes.
Should we make some, guys? Should we make like
No. I was like, what are they talking about? But then, yes, it is actually a business card for his YouTube, and we'll put it up here so you can see what this
And like
ridiculousness
he
is.
purposely left that in the pods, like because I think that person was like cleaning and they
Oh,
found it. So he purposely probably left one in every single pod that he went
oh
in.
my gosh.
Yeah.
And then I was like, when Sarah was like, yeah, knowing what I know about Ben now, the TikTok that she found makes sense. And I was like,
100%. I was like, I knew it. Like I fully like get that like some people want to like kind of clout off of situations like that, but like I don't know. I feel like when you have something like that and you don't address it the way he just kind of was like, well, I blocked her.
I don't
I don't
really
remember.
remember.
I don't remember. Like, well, did you hook up with her? Did you kiss her? Like, what happened? Like, normally, if it's something like that where this girl was kind of like, let's say, stalking you or whatever, you would remember.
Well, but maybe there's just been so many he legitimately
True.
doesn't remember.
True. He just got like a dirty blacklist.
Yes. Um, but like he like the way he ended it too was so like immature, really.
Yeah.
Like taking her off Find My Friends, not calling her on her
Yeah.
whole 12-hour journey down
Yeah.
to Nashville.
Yeah.
Like,
And then like to just say like, well, the way that Friday night went, I kind of figured we were over. I'm sorry, she made fucking plans with you
right.
to like come and stay with her. Like that's what I didn't understand. I'm like, there was a full conversation that they clearly had about
Yeah.
what the plan was going forward to see if it could work. And then like to even go further and say, well, this person and her friend were gonna come. Oh, was it Taylor? Yeah, Taylor and her friend were gonna come and
Yes,
specifically
yes.
said
I don't
you're
think
gonna
there's
have to
gonna
stay in
be
a
room.
hotel.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be enough room for you, me, and Ben. Like, and she was like, I'm gonna set him up a desk so he can work remotely. Like, somebody wouldn't do that if your Friday night conversation did not go well. Like, there was just things where it's like, I think in his head, he kind of like after what happened at the wedding, he was kind of already like,
Checked
fuck
out.
you, like
Yeah.
I'm not dealing this. And then was just like, well, like maybe I'll keep her around just as like a little bit of a fluffer. Like she's giving me attention, see if it can work. And then like, oh great, she's leaving. I can ghost her.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
not realizing that you're gonna have to see each other in a year. Like,
Right.
I don't know, it's just disrespectful to me.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely was.
Okay, next to the next disrespectful man. Joey. Once again with the longboard, like we're 5 years old.
Like I can't.
It's too much. Like, and then just for him to sit there and like blame her sister and just be like, well, I could have tried, like, but her sister just didn't like me. Like, you could have tried to prove her wrong, and then your sisters are sitting in the audience giving stink eye.
I know. I'm like, really? Really? Right now?
Like, you know what your brother is, because clearly this is not the first time it's happened.
No.
Like, I don't know. I think one, I'll give her sister the apology of like, you definitely noticed the lack of interest. You noticed his lack of emotion. And like, I didn't necessarily think of it like that because I guess because we saw them in the pods,
Yeah.
right? So like, I didn't necessarily like view certain things as that. And then we both came across that Instagram video where it was talking about the whole deleted clip of her meeting his friends.
Yes.
And I feel like had we seen that clip on the show, that would have changed my view of like their friends because like I could have made like a better informed decision, I think, if I had seen
About
that.
what was gonna end up
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And like Joey, like I again did a little bit of interneting on Joey. So like Joey was a cast member that Netflix asked to come
Yeah.
on. He originally like he had declined several times, but he had I saw on like a TikTok or an Instagram, he had applied to be on The Bachelor, to be The Bachelor. And his application
I'm so sorry. You do not have the personality to be a bachelor.
his application video, hilariously brutal.
We'll put a link.
So awful. Awful. Like so
I
cringe.
and I'm also so sorry, but you're not quite attractive enough.
He looks
to be a
really
bachelor.
he looks really so in his application video, he has short hair. He
Mhm.
looks
Better with short hair.
yes. And different. Like I
Mhm.
don't know like if you can I don't know. Whatever. Maybe he was in better shape when he
Maybe.
was doing
Maybe.
that because I think it was a little while ago, but still
I
like
don't like too how like well in that deleted scene when he was like pretty much dogging on her for taking care of her grandmother, and was like, she
Oh.
doesn't have a job. She, but his
You've
friend,
known
but it, like
this.
at least his friend was like, show she's actually like, oh, but that's really nice that she's took time off of work to go help and take care of her grandmother. Like that's something you would do, is it not? Like, so I feel like his friends were more like trying to like help him along than like he
He
was.
was. I think he, like, for whatever reason, after they got out of the pods, like, maybe he just wasn't, and which is fair.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe it
he
just
just
wasn't
wasn't
feeling it.
physically attracted to her.
Yeah. Yep, fair.
But then why do you
Just
make her
say
wait
it.
to that? Yeah,
And
why
just
are you
say it.
stringing her
Have a
along?
conversation off camera and just go like, listen, I just don't think it's,
It's not gonna happen for
yeah,
me.
like I think we're friends. I think like I don't know. I just be honest about it and just say
But then
it.
even if we back up, like, to in the pods, when he asked her to marry him, he was like, "Do you want to get engaged together?" Or like it was like
Yeah, it's
awkward.
never, yeah.
Like it wasn't like, "Will you marry me?"
Yes, it was like, I can't live without you, please marry me.
It wasn't like that.
No,
No, it
not at
was
all.
like, "Do you want to get engaged together?" Like if
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Okay, and then the long-awaited Lauren and Dave. Which like, I mean, that's kind of how I,
did his sister show up to the reunion?
no.
No, she didn't. So
I don't think
again,
she's real. I
no,
haven't. I actually just saw something today where it was like, um, she hasn't said anything
no,
online. She hasn't posted anything. Like,
no,
is she even real? Nobody's actually confirmed if she's real.
no.
Like nobody, none of his friends know nothing.
They've speculated like there's a picture of him with another woman, and they've speculated that's his sister. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, does she still exist? Is she still
I'm
around?
reading the genealogy report
Yeah.
because I don't believe that there's kids. I don't. I think his mom had one, and it was
Yes,
him.
and it was him.
But like, to be fair, like that conversation with between Lauren and Dave and that whole thing, like that is exactly how I thought it was gonna go.
Oh,
He was gonna gaslight, he was gonna say like that
absolutely.
didn't happen, blah blah blah. And like it took you this long to kind of trust her and say like, oh, maybe this guy's bad.
And then him with the oh Lauren was the one that got away. Shut up, Dave. Shut up.
It's
You
only
had
because you're being dragged online.
well, exactly. And it's been a year, and this is the first you're saying that like you've had ample like it's not like you guys are miles apart, like you
Yeah.
run in the same circles.
And didn't
You
she
want
say he has not contacted me
and
once?
she's like, you have my phone number, Dave. Like you
there's been, I've even put like zero effort in private. He wants everything to be on camera.
oh, absolutely.
Right? Like why,
Absolutely.
like zero effort. Like I'm like, you're such a liar. You're literally like, you should say like every time he's on camera, it's like, I'm learning from my bad decisions. I'm like, you're literally the poster boy for I'm making better decisions now. Like, no, maybe
No.
you should have made better decisions. And I think it was like Molly who literally called him out and was like, well, maybe you should have trusted the person that you love
Right.
and said, fuck your friends.
Right. Right.
Like, yeah, like, I don't know. I just loved also too how they planted him on the couch next to Molly. I'm like, perfect. Chef's kiss.
Lauren is trying to defend him. She's like, well, I don't think Davis is a narcissist and a
But
manipulator.
he is.
I'm like, Lauren, shut up.
Yes.
Like, give
Yes.
him a shake.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, how are you still like trying to be nice to him?
You
Like,
don't have to be nice. This guy was a total jerk to
yeah.
you. Total jerk. Everybody saw it.
Yeah.
Like, he's getting dragged
He
online
doesn't
because
deserve,
he's such a jerk.
like, I think, and then I think maybe that just goes to show who she is as a person. Like, she's just a genuinely like really care and understanding person
Well,
to a fault.
and she was going to be a teacher, so I
Yeah,
guess
fair.
you can
You
see
can't
that,
gentle
right?
parent that.
No, you cannot. He is beyond gentle parenting. Although I did think it was hilarious when like Nick Lachey was asking like I think Dave about like, well, you know, could you have a booty or like he was asking generally, could you and then Lauren, my grandma watches this show.
I know. Like, ma'am, I think there were worse conversations that were had.
Yes,
Like, you gotta
yes.
worry about the fact that like you're asking him if you had a booty call. But I just like, it's just really unfortunate that it took so long for like him to come to the understanding and realization that
Did
like,
he?
no, he didn't. I think he still 100% played it.
Everything is performative
Yes.
for Dave. Everything is like, I'm doing it for the cameras.
I think
Like,
it was
I don't want to
another
look like a bad guy.
another situation of a Ben and Sarah where he was like, let's talk about the reunion questions beforehand. I don't want to look like an idiot. Like, let's figure this out. And they literally put the regret is the splotchy redness on his face.
Yes. Absolutely, it is.
Like, that's what you get. So this is the moral of the story, kids, is to always be true, and then you'll have good skin. But yeah, so I don't think there's anything else I can add. Other than Taylor and Daniel, like they're so cute. She looked amazing.
She looked at me. I didn't like how that would have
Was
been
it
better
a
at.
suit or was it
Yeah.
a dress?
It would have been better as a dress. It was a pantsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also him tattooing her eyes on
I'm
his
not gonna
chest.
lie, I love that. I love that. I'm a tattoo girl, but I was also like, I loved it.
I didn't like the way he did it.
No,
Like the way it looked like a rectangle. Like
I think they should like. For me personally, I think it would have been better had it been like watercolored out, like fuzzied out,
fuzzied out. Not like this is a square cut out of her eyes. Yeah,
I think it would have been better if it, or if there was like maybe something else around it to where like maybe have some florals around it or something. But that's just a me.
like
That's just a me thing. I'm
No.
a tattoo girl.
Yes.
But yeah, like I love their little video. I have now followed her on Instagram because I think she's just
Following has blown up.
Yeah.
When I first saw her, like at the when because I looked up their Instagrams, I think after watching like the first episode, I think she was at like I don't know 25,
Yeah.
30K, and now she's like 300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm gonna
See,
follow.
this is what Netflix can do for you.
It's true. It's true. And I think they're just like they are really cute together. Like they're goofy, they're fun, like they're just like a genuine couple. And I'm like, okay, I'm rooting for you guys. Like, please make this. And then they just bought a house too.
I think they're the real deal. Yeah.
I think they're even more of a real deal than like Garrett and Taylor were.
Oh, really?
Yes. Like I just think I get so much better vibes from them. Like they're just like I feel like they are in it until the end. The two of them.
I feel like Garrett and Taylor feel a little opportunistic.
Yeah.
Like they use this platform.
Well, because they both have like pretty high up jobs, right?
Yes.
Whereas like these two, very cute, very like genuine. I want to see a baby. Like I want to just see them have a family and like grow together. So hopefully they can do that. Like just all like the little birthday stuff they do, and just like you can just see that they genuinely love each other now. And it's been a year, right?
Yeah, and when she said like my soul recognized your soul, oh
yeah,
and I was like, yes, I truly.
See, this is what we want the show to be.
Yes,
but like we want more than one couple.
Yes. But we want a little drama too.
Well, yeah,
like,
we need a couple for drama.
We
want messy.
Yeah, we want a couple messy couples, but we want a couple good ones too.
Yeah, like can we at least maybe have like 2 get married?
Yeah.
Like I think last season was only 1, 2, right? No, well, I mean I can't really count Tyler and Ashley. But like I guess they did. It just wasn't like great. But like 2 strong ones. Like let's have like a better percentage.
Yes. It's pretty much it averages like 1 good couple a season.
Yeah.
1 golden couple.
Yeah, which I mean I guess like when you think about it, like in a small town, I guess, whatever, like you have 1 couple come out of it. Fair enough. Like they're not all gonna find their soulmate on a show.
No. In Minneapolis.
Yeah. But we will be taking a break next week because Miss Andrea is going to Mexico. So she gets to go have fun in the sun and have real margaritas and real tacos.
Yes.
So the following week we will be starting off with Temptation Island. So you've never watched Temptation Island?
Nope.
It is the messiest of messiest reality shows that I've only ever seen 1 season, but like I'm assuming they're all the same. They're all super messy. So we'll go over like the little bit of a premise for like what the show is, and then we'll dive right into that. And
then we're going to try and put up a pinned post on the Instagram and the TikTok for any suggestions or anything that you'd want to see us talk about on the show.
Yeah, what are some of the hot topics going on today with you young kids? Well, just everybody in general, but thanks for joining us, guys. Until next time. Cheers.
A lick of sugar and spice.